Hi and welcome back to our Garage Gym series. So today we're going to take you through our top 5 tips for split squats. So number 1 is reference to where you are actually squatting and what you're actually squatting towards. Because lots of people, when they think of split squats, most commonly just try and do pistol squats, which for me personally, yeah, it's impressive and you need a reasonable amount of strength to be able to do it, but it's not overly functional. Doesn't really achieve anything, and it can be actually quite debilitative to your knee joints. So trying to do it this way is probably safer and a bit more functional. So reference point, a bench or a chair or a box, depending on what environment you're in, is a really good starting point just to get used to the movement. So I'm going to start by sitting on the bench, which means my knees are about 90 degrees. I'm going to plant my foot that I'm going to squat on, just so my knee is slightly beyond 90 degrees. Straighten my other leg, hands in front for counterbalance, look up, stand up, sit down. But I know the bench is going to be there. Making sure everything is as straight and balanced as possible. Really controlling the descent on the way down. Try not to fall onto the bench. If you do lose your balance, you can put your foot down, that's fine. If you focus on something in front of you, you're going to have more control. Then you obviously need to repeat the equal amount of reps on both sides to keep symmetrical. So number 2 is depth. So the simple rule of thumb here is if you're new to this and you have lower levels of strength, you want your depth to be less. And if you're more advanced at this and you've got high levels of strength, then you want your depth to be more. So a good, I suppose, gauge is 90 degrees. So this bench for me, as alluded to previously, allows me to get to 90 degrees. So once I've got myself set up, I can control that quite well. If my hip, knee and ankle weren't in line, I was wobbling all over the place, I was sinking down rather than falling down with control, then I'm going to want to increase my depth. And you can do that many ways. In this environment, the only option I've got is to put maybe a weight plate on the bench. So what that's going to do is increase the knee angle I've got. So instead of being there, it's here. I'm squatting less far. So in theory, that should be easier when I come down. And once you've worked on perfecting that on both sides, see, remove whatever it is you've used to change your height or change your depth and work to a lower one. So number 3 is difficulty. So it works for your levels of competence here. Don't do something that you can't, because you're not really going to get anything out of it. You're probably going to do it badly and you might hurt yourself. So just stick to your level of comfort. So whatever you're squatting towards or on, you can progress that with the position, basically where your hands are to start with, before you even start adding weight. So you can do it with your hands in front, hands across your chest, elbows forwards, hands behind your head, or then the hands overhead, which is just changing your centre of mass slightly. Then you can add a weight plate, a goblet, dumbbells, even a barbell. So you can adjust the level of difficulty again. Instead of single leg squatting towards something, you can single leg squat on something. So in this environment, I've only got the bench to work with. So what I'm going to do is pop my foot I'm squatting, or leg I'm squatting with, on the edge of the bench. And the first thing I'm going to do is look to touch my toe to the floor and then come up. Then I'm going to try and touch the flat of my foot to the floor. Again, counterbalance with your arms in front. And then the final one is trying to touch my heel to the floor. And they all require different levels of control. What you can then also do is change the height or the depth at the object or the platform that you're squatting on, which is going to add even more levels of difficulty. So once you can control that at body weight, you can then add weight plates, goblets, dumbbells, barbells, but try to be careful not to overcomplicate the movement. Most single leg squats can be done really well, really effectively with very low load, but with maximal control. Okay, so number 4 is alignment. Very simple, very important. So you want to make sure that your ankle, knee and hip are in line and they're moving over and with each other. Very common for the knee to come in and people to kind of overcompensate with their weight here, okay, which isn't obviously going to do your knee any good. And you're kind of losing the point of the exercise because it's starting to work different areas that you don't really want it to. So whether it's single leg squatting to something or on something, alignment of ankle, knee and hip, and also your body, you want it to be nice and straight, you don't want to be like a banana. Really, really important to get the most out of this. So number 5 is control. Probably the most important point of all. I've alluded to this in all of the previous points. If you can't control this movement properly and effectively, then it isn't going to transfer as well as you want it to. So don't rush it, take your time, work to your own level of competency and be progressive. Don't rush and try to jump through the progressions and jump through the stages. Work to where you are with what you've got, and then once you're comfortable, controlled and stable, then move on and make it more difficult. So there we have it, guys. We hope you find those useful. Even if it's just one point out of the 5 that help you, brilliant. Hopefully all of them will. Any questions or comments, please drop below.